For over 4,500 years, the pyramids of Giza have stood silently on the edge of the Egyptian desert, massive, unshaken, and defiant against time itself. 3 colossal structures built with such precision that even modern engineers still debate how they were made. But here's what shocks everyone. The Great Pyramid, built around 2560 BC, aligns almost perfectly with true north, within 1/15 of a degree. That's more precise than most modern buildings, even those guided by satellites. So the question isn't when they were built. The real question is how, and who truly built them. Some say slaves, others say workers, architects, geniuses ahead of their time. And then there are those who whisper of something else. Knowledge, not from Earth. Tonight on Mystery Fact File, we dive into the story that still baffles the greatest minds in history. A mystery written in stone beneath the burning sands of Giza. To understand who built the pyramids, we must first understand where they were built. Ancient Egypt wasn't just a civilization, it was an obsession with eternity. The pharaoh wasn't just a ruler, he was a god on earth. Every monument, every temple, every wall covered in hieroglyphs, all were built to bridge the mortal and the divine. But the pyramids of Giza were different. They weren't just tombs, they were statements, carved from millions of limestone blocks, each weighing between 2 and 80 tons, stacked with impossible precision. Imagine this. Over 2.3 million stones, some hauled from quarries miles away. No cranes, no steel, no modern machines. Just manpower, copper tools, and the will of the gods, or so we're told. How did they lift and align each block so perfectly? How did they create corridors straight as an arrow, leading to a king's chamber deep within solid stone? Even today, if you were to build the Great Pyramid using modern cranes, lasers, and GPS, it would still take decades. Yet the Egyptians, somehow, did it over 4,000 years ago. But here's where things get strange. There are no records, not a single ancient scroll, describing the exact process of construction. No blueprints, no plans, no diary of a builder saying, "Today, we placed the final stone." It's as if the pyramids just appeared. Some historians argue this is because ancient Egyptians saw the act of building as sacred, too divine to record. Others believe the records were lost, but there are those who think the truth was never meant to be known. You see, for centuries, ancient texts from Greek historians like Herodotus described stories of thousands of laborers working under impossible conditions. But modern archaeological digs reveal something unexpected. Workers were not slaves at all. They were skilled laborers, well-fed, buried with honor near the pyramids. So, if not slaves, then who organized this army of engineers? And where did they learn the techniques that even now, our best minds struggle to replicate? The deeper you look, the stranger it gets. The internal chambers of the Great Pyramid aren't random. They align perfectly with certain stars in Orion's belt, a constellation associated with Osiris, god of the afterlife. Coincidence? Or did the builders know something about the heavens that we only rediscovered thousands of years later? Some researchers suggest that ancient Egyptians possessed lost forms of geometry and astronomy. Others believe they inherited advanced knowledge from an even older civilization, one erased from history. And then there are those who say the knowledge came from above. Not the heavens of the gods, but the stars themselves. Could it be possible that the pyramids of Giza were built with the help of an intelligence not of this world? A concept dismissed by mainstream academia, yet it refuses to die. Why? Because every time scientists claim to have solved the mystery, the stones say otherwise. Coming up next, we journey inside the Great Pyramid itself, through its narrow passages, into its hidden chambers, to uncover what lies beneath. Ancient clues, strange symbols, and secrets that were never meant to be found. This is Mystery Fact File, and the deeper we dig, the less sense it makes. When we think about the pyramids, it's easy to forget the sheer scale of the engineering involved. The Great Pyramid once stood 481 feet tall, the tallest man-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Each of its sides measures over 755 feet, and every corner aligns almost perfectly with the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. To put that in perspective, the average deviation from true north is so small that even NASA engineers would call it precision alignment. How could ancient builders, with nothing but ropes, copper chisels, and wooden sledges, accomplish something that still challenges us today? The prevailing theory among Egyptologists says the stones were dragged from quarries nearby, possibly lubricated with water or oil to reduce friction. Some were floated down the Nile on wooden barges. Ramps, they say, were used to haul the stones up, layer by layer. But that explanation raises more questions than it answers. A straight ramp reaching the top of the pyramid would have to be longer than a mile, requiring more material than the pyramid itself. And if they used a spiral ramp, how could workers maintain perfect geometric accuracy if they couldn't even see the corners as they built upward? No remnants of such massive ramps have ever been found. No carvings, no clear blueprints, just speculation. Then there's the issue of the stones themselves. The granite blocks used in the king's chamber, weighing up to 80 tons each, were quarried from Aswan, nearly 500 miles away. How did they move them across deserts and rivers without steel, wheels, or modern cranes? It's one of those historical paradoxes that seems to deepen the more you study it. In the 1990s, a team of Japanese engineers tried to replicate pyramid construction using tools they believed were available at the time. The result? They couldn't get past the first few layers. Copper tools broke, stones cracked, alignment failed. It was a humbling moment, and it led many to reconsider what we truly know about ancient technology. Perhaps the Egyptians weren't simply stacking stone. Perhaps they were using principles of physics and geometry we've underestimated. For instance, the angle of the pyramid's sides, 51.8 degrees, is not random. It's a perfect reflection of the mathematical constant P, pi, when expressed as the ratio between height and perimeter. Coincidence? Maybe. But this ratio appears across multiple pyramids, as if the builders understood universal proportions far before the Greeks ever defined them. So, where did that knowledge come from? Trial and error? Or was it inherited? Some researchers, like Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval, have long argued that the pyramids encode a kind of ancient mathematical language, a message left by a lost civilization, possibly one that existed long before Egypt itself. They point to erosion patterns on the nearby Sphinx suggesting water damage, something that would place its construction thousands of years earlier, during a time when the Sahara was still lush and green. If true, then Egypt may not have been the birthplace of this knowledge, only its guardian. And that leads us into an even deeper mystery, one that challenges the entire timeline of human civilization. Long before the pyramids, stories of a great civilization lost to time echo through human myth. Atlantis, Zep Tepi, the first time. Many ancient Egyptian texts refer to this golden age, when gods walked among men and taught them the secrets of the universe. Modern historians dismiss these as myths, but the parallels are hard to ignore. In temple carvings across Egypt, we see images of figures holding strange tools, objects resembling light sources, energy conductors, or even modern technology. Coincidence, symbolism, or faded memories of something real? Something we've long forgotten. The ancient Egyptians believed their ancestors came from the stars, from Orion and Sirius, and that the pyramids were built to mirror these constellations. In 1993, satellite mapping confirmed the three pyramids of Giza align almost perfectly with the three stars of Orion's belt. Not approximately, but within fractions of a degree. And if you draw a line from the pyramids toward the Nile, it mirrors the position of the Milky Way itself. Was this pure coincidence or deliberate celestial architecture? And if it was deliberate, who taught them the sky with such precision? Let's look deeper. Under the sands of Egypt, radar and ground scans have revealed subterranean tunnels, sealed chambers, and even what appear to be massive caverns beneath the Giza Plateau. Some remain unexplored, restricted by government order, labeled unstable. Others were sealed long ago. Rumors say they contain ancient texts, records written before the time of the pharaohs. A hall of records, hidden beneath the Sphinx, said to preserve the wisdom of a forgotten world. No proof has ever been released. But stories persist, told quietly among archaeologists, and loudly by those who believe the truth was buried, quite literally, in stone. Could it be possible that an earlier civilization, now lost to catastrophe, left behind its legacy in the form of knowledge, geometry, astronomy, architecture, eventually inherited by ancient Egypt? We've seen similar anomalies across the world. The precision stonework of Machu Picchu, the astronomical alignments of Teotihuacan, the megalithic walls of Baalbek in Lebanon. Different continents, different eras, same patterns. Each site defies the supposed capabilities of its builders. Each whispers the same message: we knew more than you think. It's a chilling thought that history may not be a straight line, but a circle. That perhaps humanity rose once before and fell. But not everyone agrees. Mainstream Egyptologists argue that such theories romanticize the past. They point out that ancient Egyptians left inscriptions detailing food rations for workers, burial sites near Giza, and names of crews that helped build the pyramid. Evidence, they say, of human ingenuity, not alien intervention or lost civilizations. And yet, even they admit the scale of precision is unprecedented. So we stand at a crossroads between history and mystery, science and speculation. Every new discovery brings us closer to the truth, and somehow further away. There's a moment, standing before the Great Pyramid at dusk, when the shadows stretch long and the air hums with silence. You realize that what you're looking at isn't just a tomb, it's a message, written in stone. A message that says, we were here, we knew the stars, and we wanted you to remember. But remember what? That's the question that keeps archaeologists awake at night. And maybe that's exactly what the builders intended. In recent decades, scientists have begun to re-examine the pyramids, not as tombs, but as machines. Structures built with a purpose we might not yet understand. In 2017, researchers used cosmic ray muon scanners, a form of particle imaging, to peer inside the Great Pyramid without disturbing it. What they found stunned the world. A hidden void more than 100 feet long above the Grand Gallery, a chamber no one had ever entered in over 4,000 years. Was it an unfinished passage, a structural flaw, or a deliberate design meant to conceal something? No one knows because it's still sealed, unreachable, a ghost chamber in stone. But that's not all. Researchers also found that certain chambers inside the pyramid resonate at specific acoustic frequencies. When sound, even a human voice, echoes through the narrow shafts, it amplifies in eerie patterns. Some frequencies vibrate precisely at 432 Hz, a tone long associated with harmonic resonance, the so-called frequency of the universe. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe the builders understood something about vibration and energy that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Some engineers speculate the pyramid's internal layout could have functioned as a kind of energy resonator, converting Earth's natural vibrations into electromagnetic energy. Not electricity as we know it, but a subtle form of energy, perhaps spiritual, perhaps technological. Ancient texts refer to the pyramids as mirrors of heaven, instruments that connect the divine and the earthly. If so, maybe they were never meant to house bodies, but to channel forces beyond human comprehension. Skeptics call these ideas pseudoscience, and maybe they're right. But the data doesn't lie. The pyramid's core temperature remains constant, 60 degrees, perfectly regulated despite the desert heat. Its base curvature mirrors that of the Earth's surface, accurate to a fraction of an inch. And when you multiply the pyramid's height by 1 billion, you get the exact average distance from Earth to the Sun. Was that an accident of geometry or a message written in mathematics? The more we analyze the structure, the more it behaves like a code, not a building. In 2020, a team of physicists simulated the electromagnetic response of the Great Pyramid and discovered something remarkable. At specific wavelengths, the pyramid concentrates electromagnetic energy within its chambers, especially the King's Chamber. It acts like an antenna. But why would ancient builders care about electromagnetic fields unless they knew they existed? And if they did, how? These findings reignited speculation about the true purpose of the pyramids, from ancient energy plants to stargates to resonant monuments of consciousness itself. Maybe that's why every civilization that followed Egypt, from Greece to Rome to modern times, has tried to replicate the pyramid's form. Because somewhere, deep down, we sense it represents something more than stone, something eternal. And then there's the human element, the builders themselves. New DNA studies from burial sites near Giza reveal that many workers came from all across Egypt. Farmers, masons, engineers. They weren't slaves, they were volunteers, part of something far bigger than a king's tomb. They worked, scientists believe, not for gold or power, but for legacy. Because to them, building the pyramid wasn't just a job, it was a sacred act, one that would connect them forever to the divine order of the cosmos. In a sense, the pyramid wasn't built for the pharaoh. It was built for eternity. But even now, as archaeologists uncover more with every dig, the central mystery remains. How could an ancient civilization, with no modern machines, achieve a feat that still humbles the world's greatest architects? Maybe the answer isn't about tools, but about knowledge. Knowledge that was never lost, only hidden, waiting for the right time to be remembered. Every great mystery has two sides: the truth we can prove, and the truth we can only feel. For the pyramids of Giza, both are equally powerful. They stand not just as monuments of stone, but as symbols of human persistence, the will to reach beyond what seems possible. Whether built by the hands of men or guided by something greater, they remind us of a universal truth. Humanity has always looked upward, toward the stars, toward the unknown. The Great Pyramid has survived wars, earthquakes, theft, erosion, even time itself. It has watched empires rise and fall, witnessed humanity discover flight, space travel, the atom, and AI. Yet, it still keeps its greatest secret. Who built the pyramids of Giza? Was it the brilliant engineers of the Old Kingdom? Or was it someone or something that came before them, leaving behind a legacy carved in stone? Perhaps both are true. Perhaps the real story lies not in who placed the stones, but in why. Maybe the builders wanted to tell us something timeless, that civilizations rise and fall, but knowledge, when built on truth, endures forever. And maybe, just maybe, they left us a message hidden in plain sight. That the line between science and the sacred is thinner than we think. The Great Pyramid of Giza continues to hum with mystery. Every scan, every discovery, every new theory brings us closer. And yet, the truth always seems one step ahead. Perhaps it's meant to be that way, because mystery, after all, is the spark that keeps humanity searching. We may never know the full story, but that's what makes it worth chasing. This is Mystery Fact File. Thank you for watching. If you believe the truth is still out there, hidden beneath the sands, or written in the stars, join us. Subscribe and help us uncover the next mystery waiting in the dark. Because the past is never really gone. It's only buried, waiting for us to find it.